Federal Cartridge started in 1922. It started making shot shell ammunition, then it got into rimfire. Eventually it got into centerfire rifles and pistol cartridges. So in my 21 years, really just the quality has improved so much over time. So my name is David Leese. I'm the Vice President of Sales. I handle the international military and law enforcement sales. We do everything here at Federal besides making propellant. Made in America, we control the process. It's a little bit higher quality. We know what the components that are going into our ammunition.
G'day everybody, Matt and Brad here for NIOA. It's so cold. It's so cold.
Freezing quickly.
And we're at the Federal Ammunition Factory in Anoka, Minnesota. It's minus 20 degrees Celsius.
Can we go inside?
Right here is where all the lead comes in. So we take the lead in, it's all recycled car batteries. We recycle it, make it into wire, and then from that wire it'll turn into either cores for bullets, bullets for rimfire, or we make BBs for shot shell, lead shot pellets. We're broken up into rimfire, centerfire rifle and pistol, and shot shell. That's how we break it up. Right here is where we start loading centerfire cartridges. Right now I showed you where the lead comes in. Those cores are then made into bullets. Right behind me, we're starting to put primers into cartridge cases. And then a little bit down the way is where we put everything together and do a loaded case.
So we've got a lot of different offerings, 300 and some SKUs that we offer. You know, PowerShock is one of our big offerings that we use for opening price point hunting ammunition. Then we've got kind of a step up, the good, better, best, a fusion offering. And then Federal invented the premium lineup of ammunition in 1977, so we're really proud to have that as part of our portfolio as well.
So this is one of our straight line loaders. We're loading 30-30 PowerShock. So it's mostly, I know it's pretty popular in Australia.
Very popular in Australia, especially for those lever action hunters, you know. Now that Ruger, are making the Marlin 30-30 again.
Yeah.
This round's very highly sought after down under.
The internal specs and our quality control for PowerShock, we want to be that value, but within that value, you are still getting the top of the product line that we can produce. As long as the temperature stays relatively similar, humidity, things like that. If any of that does change or the shift changes, we go back and we shoot that again to make sure that we still are hitting our internal specs. Fusion, great bullet, in my opinion, under 300-400 yards, depending on the caliber. Probably one of the best performing bullets that we have. It's bonded. The bullet is actually made in Lewiston, Idaho. Shipped here, we load it day in, day out for a terminally performing round. That value and that bullet is fantastic. One of the best that we make until you get up into some of the premium bullets.
So Brad, you'd be pretty happy to see this, mate. 7mm Fusion.
Yeah, all the Fusion rounds are fantastic. You know, it's really good for big game hunting. You know, we've used them up in Northern Territory, New Zealand. Bonded bullet, one of Federal's really go-to rounds.
Great on deer.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, one of our most popular. It's been around probably almost 10-15 years, and it just keeps on growing every year.
Generally, as that price point increases, a lot of the quality checks go up, our specs get tighter and tighter. Gold medal, for example, we put a lot of internal specs and a lot of internal qualifications on the brass. Into the premium, again, we're going to shoot it. We're going to shoot it at the beginning of a shift. Some of those SKUs we might shoot multiple times during a shift and during a load. So they're always continually trying to improve, whether it be terminal performance or can we load it differently with a different powder for accuracy. It's making the brass better, which makes the round inherently more accurate. Or what can we do to the bullet to make it more concentric, more uniform from lot to lot, and consistent through its accuracy throughout when we load it. So whether it be the engineers, the adjusters that are on the loaders themselves, they're always continually trying to improve.
So in 1916, two brothers, the Sherman brothers, they opened up a ammo manufacturing company, and they called it Federal Cartridge and Machine Shop. They made a go of it. It didn't work out for them. They had to shut it down. A businessman in Minneapolis named Charles Horn, he heard about the factory, and he knew that this defunct factory had the capability of making paper tubes that he wanted to use for packaging. So he came up here and somehow he was convinced to buy the whole factory. And so he decided to start it up again, and in 1922, Federal Cartridge Corporation opened its doors. What Charles Horn decided to do was go completely different and start selling the ammunition at barber shops, hardware stores, selling them at gas stations, service stations, things like that. Making shot shell ammunition for stores like that really was the foundation for Federal.
I do see there's a lot of models there back from that really early stages that are still here today.
Yes, definitely.
American Eagle.
Yes, so we actually Federal purchased American Eagle in the 1930s, and then we kept American Eagle, and we still have American Eagle today. Federal didn't get into the rifle or handgun cartridges until the 1960s, the early 1960s. 1963 was the first year, and that is mostly because of our work with World War II and our running of some of the military plants. So we are really proud of the premium category, and that's when we started in 1977. It was a risk that we took, because it's way more expensive, ammunition back then, and so it worked though. I mean, it obviously worked, and premium is a huge brand for us today.
Righto, so we are somewhere very special. We are in Federal's custom shop. All right, so Trevor, it's over to you. Take us through the process.
Sure, no problem. First and foremost, we have the custom shop set up in two different sides. So we have a shot shell side and we have a centerfire side. We'll do the centerfire side first, as Brian is doing right now. He's actually sorting brass as it comes in. Once the brass is sorted, we go through a process of prepping, round the mouth, straighten the mouth, and then we inside and outside deburr. Once that's done, we go to the loading process, and as you can see, we have quite the scale set up here with all the best components, all the best powders that we can find. Once it's done here, it goes to final inspection. We check weigh everything to make sure everything's got powder, and then we polish and pack. Custom label, yep, and then that's our shot shell box. And then it gets a custom shop label as well. We do both waterfall and turkey on the shot shell side. So we have a profile gauge, and then you just check it. So then it comes over to the powder drop behind you. So then I drop 10 at a time. Once this is done, then we go seat the wads, which I actually have set here. Now obviously each load's individually different. So then once we get to that point, we'll vibrate just to make sure that they're all settled in the case. This is where we're gonna roll a crimp now.
The cool thing about the workers at Federal, one is they're awesome at their jobs. They're craftsmen, they're tradesmen. Everybody's really just invested in the shooting community, the hunting community. So, we've got people that are on the competitive side of things. We've got people on the hunting side of things. We've got people on the training side of things. It's really a large family of just people that are invested and immersed within the industry.
Because the employees are involved in the different shooting disciplines, they really care about the ammunition and product that's coming out of the factory.
It's just fantastic to work around a group of people who's passionate about the product and how it's actually used in the field.
Made in America is there's a level of quality, there's a level of craftsmanship that goes into it, and I think that's really appreciated by the consumer market and the shooters at large.
Having that control from end to end of the product, having a lot of pride in people right here in Minnesota making the product, it's just a fabric of who we are and really important to our company and its history.
Australia's a really important market for us. We've been working with NIOA for a good 20 years now. We've increased our sales every year, and we've gotten to the point where we can ship a container once a month. So our source supply is getting much better, and it's very important for us, and it's easier for us to plan out as the market keeps on growing. So that is probably the #1 question I get when I go around the world is about primers. There was a huge ammunition demand, especially during COVID, just a real uptick in the needs by the military and law enforcement. And so what we've seen is a lot of our primers are going into loaded ammunition right now. Now we know there's a deficit. We really want to support the hand loaders and the breed loaders. We have increased capacity, and we are starting to ship more over the last 6 months. So it takes a while once we make it to get out to all our different customers. but we are making more, so it should be better in 2024.
Well, look, it's too cold. We're going to have to go somewhere warmer.
I can feel my hands.
Can you see me through the fog?
Well, here we are, Brad, in Oroville, sunny California.
Mate, a hell of a lot warmer than Minnesota, where we just come from.
Agreed. And mate, we are in reloading Mecca.
Oh.
Welcome to RCBS.